Shout out to Cats Pod.
A big defensive play for Montana State.
Touchdown, Tommy Milan is electrifying.
Welcome to the Cats Pod.
What's up, Podcats? We are 2 days away from the start of this season. I know everybody's as jacked up as we are and excited for this game against New Mexico. Eric, how you feeling? 2 days out.
Oh, man, it's been a long time coming, and I'm so excited for some Bobcat football. I can't wait. I know exactly what I'll be doing on Saturday, and that is nothing.
It's the best feeling. I got plans, you know. I got plans on Saturday.
I can't wait to see how everything comes together. I mean, I know all we've done is talk about this for months, and now it's here, and I hate that we probably put a little bit of a little high expectation on it, but gosh darn, I'm ready.
What are we going to do? Like, we have to put high expectations on it. Like, this is the most exciting part of the season, when you're just waiting to see your team play against somebody else. You know, we've seen scrimmages, we've seen clips from practice, stuff like that, but when you actually get to see your team take the field against somebody else, I know the players have to be ready for that after going through camp and playing against each other for the last 3-4 weeks. You know, they have to be ready.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they're just as excited as we are to really see what how their hard work pays off too.
Oh yeah. So today we're going to go over the depth chart first for the Cats. We're going to give you guys some notable players for the University of New Mexico. We'll probably do a little bit of gambling talk, and then we're going to end with our picks for the Week 0 games this week that the FCS teams are playing in. At least the Big Sky and the Missouri Valley, because that's all we really care about, right?
Yeah. I mean, no one else really matters in the FCS, so.
Yeah, everybody else is irrelevant, so, why would we even bring them up?
Exactly. No, the new depth chart just came out for this game, and I mean, it's pretty much what you would expect with, there's a couple of notable missing pieces, which we all knew. We all knew that Justice was going to be missing this game, and we all knew that Julius Davis was going to miss this game. I'm sorry, Ben.
I know. I mean, it's tough. It's tough for me. It's tough for the team. I think it's probably tougher for me than it is for the team. I'll put that on me. I think I'm going to miss him out there more than anybody else in the world, just saying,
Yeah.
But also, we have a pretty badass dude backing him up in Scott Ray Humphrey. Or one play Scott Ray, as I like to call him.
One play Scott
That's all he
Ray.
needs.
Yeah,
all he
exactly.
needs is one play to get to the end zone. So one play Scott Ray, that's fine with me.
The other really interesting thing, since we're on the talk of running backs, is that Adam Jones has leapfrogged everybody else. He has moved himself over guys like Colson Kuhn, Elijah Elliott, those guys that have been, especially Elijah Elliott, been on the team for a while. Apparently Adam Jones has some stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, all we saw from him on the field last year was he played I think he probably played more than one play last year, but just his first play for the Bobcats, taking it 70 yards to the end zone?
Yeah.
Yeah, he showed us what he could do right there.
Exactly. And did you see that he's only listed as a freshman?
Oh, really? So he must have had not enough snaps so that he could take a red shirt?
Must have. I should have looked into that, but I just now noticed it. But
yeah, I'm sure that he just didn't play in enough games so he could actually call that a redshirt year, which is awesome, having more years of Adam Jones with what it looks like he could be. That is
exactly
spectacular.
Yeah. I mean, our running back room is so set, man. It's so set.
Oh yeah. I'm so jacked up to watch these guys play.
I mean, And once Julius Davis gets back, I mean, who don't you hand the ball to? I'd like to all three of them to have the ball at any given time.
hmm And the guys that you talked about that Adam Jones has jumped over.
Yeah, I mean, it's a deep room, a super deep
hmm
room. But
Awesome. Awesome
yeah,
team.
so we brought up Justice going to be missing
hmm
some time. So our changes are Cole Sane slides in at center, backed up by our other Perkins.
hmm
Our Justice's brother is backing him up. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is a cool mixture, and it's really awesome when you can have you're throwing somebody in as a backup, and they're like a senior that's been a part of the program forever, coming off of an injury, still a very experienced dude. You know, you're not missing anything IQ wise or experience wise. You're just getting a dude back that is kind of a Swiss Army knife, it sounded like from what Vegan was saying during the press conference. It's
Yeah,
like we can put him
exactly.
at center, they can put him in at a lot of different positions. So obviously he's got the IQ to make that position work. As long as I heard that Tommy's going to be doing some of the calls at the line as well. So.
Yeah, yeah. And then left guard, or I guess we could just start at left tackle, Connor Moore. No big surprise there.
Mm-mm.
Left guard, JT Reed. It sounds like JT Reed. There's a read that it says JT Reed or Burke Mastel,
hmm
and I think that's because he's still a little banged up and not sure, but I haven't heard anything otherwise that he isn't starting.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, so then Cole Sane slides in at center, Marcus Weir right guard, and Titan Fleischman is the
Yeah.
coolest name on this team.
Oh yeah.
Is in at right tackle. I mean, can you
Oh
ask
yeah.
for a cooler name than that?
No, you can't. That's exactly as cool as you're allowed to be, is to be Titan Fleischman. Also, notable thing about the offensive line, JT Reed at the left guard, also a podcast.
Let's
He follows
go.
us on Instagram. He's part of the train. You know, he's a fan of the podcast, I'm sure. Listens every week, you know. JT Reed, thank you.
We got your back, JT.
Oh yeah. Always
Yeah.
and forever. The line I feel like is going to be solid. I was a little bit worried about it when you hear things about Justice, and he's such a huge part of that line. But just with the depth that is going on here, and having somebody like Cole Sane that can step into that position, it reinstilled my confidence real quick as soon as I listened to Vegan talk about the O line.
100%. And then you look at the backups because I've heard a lot of really good things about this Cedric Jefferson backing up Connor Moore.
Mm-hmm.
I heard he's a total stud. And then that Samora Ezekiel, the transfer, I believe from North Texas,
Yep.
is backing up Titan. So,
Yep.
and you know who's not even listed on as like didn't make the two or the backup role anywhere? He's not even listed here. Is that Dylan Rollins?
Oh yeah.
Big time transfer, total stud. He's not even listed
That
here, so he must still be kind of getting used to things. And we're going to be. I mean, there's a realistic chance we could be three deep at every position on the line
yeah.
with studs.
With people we feel fully confident are going to be in the game or
Yeah,
could be in the game at any moment.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on, we got quarterback. No, nothing to report there. Tommy Millott still the starter.
hmm
Jordan Reed backing him up. It's
Yep.
exactly what we expected, and fully believe that Tommy's gonna light it up.
Yeah. I'm excited to see like how far his passing has come over this off season and the decision making and everything and just how much he's gonna have tightened up everything
Yeah,
in controlling this offense, you know, and just to see what kind of decisions he makes about when to run, when not to run, those kind of things. Super exciting stuff. And he develops so much, it's like you're watching a new player every single year.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. No, it's gonna be fun watching him this year and seeing where he can take us.
hmm
Receivers, once again, no surprises here.
hmm
Laniata at X, H, we have Taco, Z, Ty McCullough. Oh, that is as good as it gets.
That is stacked up.
Oh
I
my
am
gosh.
so excited to watch these guys play.
I can,
Montiata is a super exciting player, and I think we personally have been talking about him for, it feels like, more than 2 years, but probably for the last 2 years.
yeah, when like last year we got a whole season taken away from us. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, transfer rules. Got a whole season taken away from us, and the guy is a stud. We knew it going into last season. He didn't get to play, and I bet he is going to be out for some revenge.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he's excited to get out on the field. Just the size and speed that he has, it's going to be exciting to watch, I'm sure. And
Yeah.
he could emerge as somebody that's one of our favorites by the end of the season, for sure.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Taco. Everyone loves Taco.
Mm-hmm.
Coming in totally healthy. Can't wait to see what he does. And Ty McCullough.
Our dude.
Yeah.
Ty McCullough, our dude, just staying with the program. Didn't have to stay here. Could have transferred. Could have probably got a lot of offers and decided to stick with the Cats and stay at MSU and
What a
believed
guy.
in the vision of us making a big playoff run and being one of the top teams in the country. So shout
Yeah.
out to him for sticking around.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Tight end, we have Ryan Lonergan, Hunter Province.
Mm-hmm.
And those guys
I'm
they're big.
Yeah.
Those
They are
big
huge
dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you a little surprised that it's Lonergan over Providence based on how much time Providence got last year?
Yeah, I was a little bit. Province played a lot of games last year and did he did pretty darn well. So I was a little bit surprised, but I mean, this Ryan Lonergan, we've known he's a stud.
Oh yeah.
So he must be a bit of a difference maker. But
Oh.
it also could be as simple as they're just going to split it,
Yeah.
1A, 1B kind of deal.
We're used to seeing a lot of tight ends in different sets for the Cats, so that wouldn't surprise me either.
Well, yeah,
I'm
and
sure that they'll probably be pretty even on snaps.
our other tight end is listed as a fullback.
Yeah. We couldn't put him anywhere else, so we were like, okay, list him as a fullback.
Yeah. Yeah, and so Rohan is going to be in that Derek Snell type role, I would imagine. And if I remember right, is 8 Derek Snell's old number?
I was going to say the same thing. I'm pretty sure he's wearing Derek Snell's number in Derek Snell's role. It's going to feel weird to see somebody other than the Alaskan Assassin doing exactly what the Alaskan Assassin does.
No, we got it doesn't rhyme as well, but now we have the main assassin.
Yeah.
But
we have the main murderer,
Yeah, well, he's from somewhere in Canada.
Canada, right?
Yeah.
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 The Canuck Killer. That's who he
There
is,
we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's the offense. I mean, that's loaded. That's as much
yeah.
talent as you could ask for on a team.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a while since we've seen a team kind of this loaded, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can't think of one where it's like top to bottom. There's studs at every single position, and there's studs backing up those studs.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like we've been that well set up. There was always a couple positions we could talk about where it was like, well, we're a little lacking here, or like we could nitpick a little bit, but right now it's just like these are all dudes that we're excited to see, and it's like, how do you distribute the ball around to all this talent?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's just so good. I mean, and I hate to overhype things, but man,
that's what we're supposed to do until like the season actually starts. Is all we do is overhype things.
Yeah. Well, should we move on to the defense?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Not a lot to report on the defensive side of the ball. Kenny Iden.
Yeah.
Back where
Kenny Iden, who recently got a Pickle Barrel sponsorship. He is the official Bobcat of the Pickle Barrel, so I do respect that a lot.
I do too. That's
Yep.
Pickle Barrel is a Bozeman treasure. It really is.
It's a staple. It's a staple of it. I guarantee that's my dad's favorite player now.
100%.
Bar
Yeah,
none.
your dad gets cold Pickle Barrel sandwiches brought to him from Bozeman anytime one of the kids comes back.
Exactly. He will take a pickle barrel sandwich driven to him from Bozeman to Valier, Montana, and he will eat that thing with gusto. Next up, we got Alec Eckert at
Yeah.
the tackle there, and that was the Hulk, if you remember. His Twitter banner was the Hulk, and I remember us talking about that a little bit. Definitely an exciting transfer guy coming in, somebody that we're excited to see join this defensive line. Could be a very exciting player to watch.
100%. Yeah, I think we kind of just assumed he'd take this role, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the nose we have Blake Schmidt. Over, I kind of thought Paul Brott might get this, but that's great depth, really. Blake Schmidt and Paul Brott are your two nose. I mean, they're going to be able to swap in and out a lot, and really. You can't ask for much more. I mean, these are some big boys that could use a breather, and if you're subbing 1A in with 1B, I mean, that's really good.
Yeah. And one of the things that Vegan talked about in his press conference was dealing with the heat when you're down in New Mexico. I don't know what the weather report's like. I don't know if it's going to be crazy hot
I saw
or if it's going to be
mid-80s.
similar to the heat. Okay, so it's not going to be bad at all.
No.
But what he was talking about was using your depth if it does get hot out there and you need to do that. And so when you can pull Paul Brott in for Blake Schmidt, that is a lossless transition right there.
Yeah. It's pretty nice. I mean, it's a bit of a luxury to have the depth that we're seeing in this depth chart.
Oh yeah.
The next spot is rush, and we have some scrub. Some total scrub.
Yeah. Oh my God, just terrible.
We have our Montana State number 41, Brody Grebe. I mean, no surprise, starter. He's gonna. I fully expect him to feast, and I don't feel like that's overhyping anything.
No, it's not overhyping anything at all. I'm sure he's super excited to get on the field again. Nobody has hated the offseason more than Brody Grebe and wanted to be playing football more than Brody Grebe. So it is always exciting to watch him play. He's one of those players where on every single defensive snap, he could make a huge play.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Always keep your eyes on that 41 this entire season because you're going to see something special at least a handful of times each game.
Yeah, definitely. And now we get into the linebackers with McKade O'Reilly and Danny Yu. I mean, just that's where we were at last year, and coming in this year, these guys are going to be. I think they're going to be pretty special.
Just the old guard back there, you know, the old guard of McKade O'Reilly and Danny Yu taking it up.
Yep. Couple seniors, couple veterans. They're going to be all over the field at all times.
It's nice to see that Bryce Grebe is backing up McKade O'Reilly. How lucky would you be to be backing up somebody like McKade O'Reilly, to get to learn from him as you develop into a player?
As a freshman, too. I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah. He definitely jumped up there. He must have been pretty special during camp.
Yeah. Oh, I would sure say so. I mean, as a freshman, it's not very often you get a freshman to back up, you know, to be your second guy. Yeah. But that just speaks to, those are some strong genetics. Very strong genetics.
The Grebe family is will not be denied.
No. We can always use more Cowboys on that team.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Next is nickel corner, and we have Miles Jackson or Caden Dowler. I would probably expect Caden Dowler to run with that one.
I think both of them are probably. I mean, this is probably the same situation we were talking about at the tight ends.
Yeah,
a lot of split snaps here. Pretty similar snap count, most likely.
Yeah, Yeah, I think, I mean, Caden Dowlers, he was so good before he got hurt last year. So good.
I feel like
And,
Miles Jackson might be kind of a blind spot for us. Do you remember a ton about him?
well, he filled in last year.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's probably a good thing that I don't remember anything super specific because it didn't mean that he did anything really terrible.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, either way, that's fantastic depth, really.
Mm-hmm.
Um, First corners are Simeon Woodard and Andrew Powdell.
Yeah. Guys
No,
that have been with the program, seems like solid dudes.
yeah,
Seems like from what we've heard about New Mexico, they are going to have their hands full a little bit with a couple of the wide receivers they have. Um, Excited to see them thrive.
yeah. So, do you remember? I'm totally drawing a blank spot here.
Mhm.
Who was it last year? I'm pretty sure it was a corner that broke like six fingers. Do you
Oh,
remember?
I can't think about. I am not sure.
I
Oh, who
cannot
was that?
remember the name off the top of my head here, but
I don't feel like it's somebody that's still with the
yeah,
team, but
I feel like that name is missing. No, I'm pretty
yeah.
sure he's with the team, but that
Okay.
name seems to be missing there, and I
Yeah.
wonder if his fingers are still not quite right. I can't remember.
It could be. Could be.
We'll move on,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean those are two really good corners, especially
Hmm.
Simeon.
Oh
Guy's a
yeah.
stud.
Oh yeah.
So I'm expecting them to kind of, especially with the amount of playing time both those guys have,
Hmm.
kind of think it's going to be, they're going to do some pretty special things.
Oh yeah. Next up.
Next up, we have at the other corner spot, or I guess let's go free safety or strong safety. And
Hmm.
we got Rylan Ort, no surprise, team captain,
Yeah.
ready to rock and roll for another year. And I will say, if they put up player props, he's my guy. Uh,
Yeah. Rylan Ort's gonna get you that money this year.
yeah. Free safety, Blake Stillwell. So no change from last year. He's still the guy. And the
Yeah.
other corner, John Johnson. Just,
Yeah.
that is what, the secondary is kind of exactly what we expected,
Yeah.
I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
No,
And we took in a bunch of transfers, and we have a bunch of new guys coming in as well. So it'll be exciting to see how that depth works into it. Because didn't we picked up 3 or 4 3-star dudes out of Texas in that DB room, and it doesn't look like any of them are on the depth chart. So
yeah, yeah. Um, so one quick thing on the offense, one name that is not listed there, and this is probably because he was such a late transfer, is that Ryan King.
oh yep.
That dude's a total stud, and I'm guessing he's just kind of getting, you know, up to speed
Hmm.
on what's going on. But yeah, he's not listed there, so keep an eye on that as we go forward.
Yeah, we'll have to see if that name starts popping up later on in the season for sure.
Yeah, and yeah, so that's our defensive, roster there. Place
Hmm.
kicking, Casey Kautzman.
Yeah.
Let's go, Casey. This is
Yep.
your this
Excited
is
to
your
see
year,
that.
brother.
Oh yeah.
And our guy, Brendan Hall.
Brendan Hall. Recent podcast. New addition to the fans of the podcast.
Yeah. Thank you, Brendan.
Thank you, Ben.
I did see a little cool thing about Brendan Hall. He's on the Reese's Senior Bowl watch list.
Yeah.
Him along with Marcus Weir and Brody Greedy.
Yeah.
So that's
I
pretty
like
cool.
how when they posted that, he was like, I think they meant as a punter.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't know if that was some like self-deprecating humor or what that was, but he's like, yeah, probably as a punter.
Yeah. Yeah. So that, I mean, that's going to be really cool to see if they can get themselves to the Senior Bowl.
Yeah. That would be really exciting. Hopefully it goes out for him. Hey, I don't know if you know this, but Brendan Hall is 6'9". First
Is
time we
he?
got that in all year. First time we got it in, had I don't know, I couldn't not do it. Um,
I don't blame you one bit.
Long snapper Tommy Sullivan,
Yeah.
holder Patrick Duquesne, punt returns from Taco or Ty McCullough. Those will be electric plays right there.
Those are going to be fun.
Yep.
Super fun. Don't get hurt. Please.
And kickoff returns from Marquis Johnson. Marquis Johnson is a hella quick player who could make things happen on a lot of different plays.
Yeah. Yeah. Marquis is one of those guys where when the ball touches his hands, you just don't know what's going to happen.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, you better hope your coverage is good because if he's got that ball in his hand, there is a very high likelihood he's going to take it to the house.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's really good with the ball in his hands.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the roster for New Mexico. I mean, this is the best roster I've seen in a long, long time. If not one of the, I mean, it is from top to bottom. I mean, a lot of things you see on social media are, their offense should be really good, but can the defense, hold guys? It's like, well,
Yeah.
on paper, this is an extremely talented group of guys.
And there's so much seniority mixed in with it, a little bit of new talent, but mainly things are just staying the way they were last year. Those players are developing, getting better, getting smarter, learning the game in different ways, and I think that it's going to be a hell of a defense this year.
Yeah, and the number one thing, in my opinion, is that these guys are proven winners, but they also know what it feels like to lose, especially how terrible that loss was, the way it was.
Yep.
I don't think they
You
want
got to
to
take your
feel that
lumps
again.
before you can make that next step,
Yeah.
You got to take your lumps, you got to learn what that feels like and then come back even stronger. And a lot of the press conferences and stuff that players have been saying in the media and everything, it sounds like that is the number one focus, is just how motivated this team is.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the other thing is the motivation here. I mean, this is, what is it, 16 seniors or something? 17? There's a bunch. There's a bunch.
I don't know.
And
I can't count that high, Eric. I can't.
You only have 10 fingers.
I only got 10 fingers. I was an English major. I know words, not numbers. Why are you trying to do numbers at me?
Well, should we get into a few of the New Mexico players to keep an eye on?
Oh, yeah. So, I listened to the entirety of New Mexico's media day so that none of you people out there have to. And
What?
you are welcome.
You're
Let
our
me tell
unsung,
you are
unsung
welcome.
hero. Unsung
I
hero
know.
right here.
I actually watched it twice, and the second time I took notes because that is how bored I am / how excited I am for this game and for the Bobcats to be playing football again. I mean, for New Mexico, I know we made fun of it last week, but it really does all start with Bronco Mendenhall. Like,
100%.
it is super exciting the things he's doing with the team and the way he structures and the way he coaches.
One little note about Bronco is, even though he has a cool name like Bronco, it's still not as cool as Titan.
Still not as cool as Titan. He's no Titan Fleischman, but he's the one and only Bronco Mendenhall for sure.
Yeah. So, my limited knowledge of Bronco Mendenhall's New Mexico problem, or position, I guess, is that he kind of brought in a few transfers with him, kind of pulled the Coach Prime deal and brought some transfers.
Yeah. He's definitely seems like he's trying to start with a clean slate. Um, but I like the way that he tries to structure his teams and do that. Everybody at practice, when they start out in New Mexico, doesn't have a number. They just have their name on the back of their jersey. Nobody's assigned a number. Nobody was given seniority. They started everything with a clean slate. And then they actually had a committee of the players vote on who got to pick their numbers first. The players got together as a committee, voted on the top 25 guys, and those guys got to choose their numbers. So it's a way of like, you might bring in all these transfers, but also just nobody's spot is safe. Everybody has to work for and earn everything on his teams, it seems like.
Yeah, that's an interesting way of going about things.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a player's coach, and I like the idea of no seniority to a certain extent, but really, let's see what you're capable of, and I'll make the decisions. And I don't care what anyone did in the past.
Yeah. Also, coming in, you're one of the bottom teams in the Mountain West. Even if you do have seniority, I feel like there's still something that needs to be proven. You know?
Yeah.
You can't rest on your laurels when you've just been one of the worst teams in the Mountain West for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, what else did you hear in the press conference that really caught your ear?
I think we can move on to the players. They do a lot of stuff with the community, which is pretty cool. They have a thing called Hero Thursdays. They bring in children with disease or just a lot of different stuff, and they bring them into practice, and they do a little community outreach every Thursday, and that was pretty cool. He seems like a guy that is interested in developing good people, which I really respected.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at you trying to make us not hate New Mexico.
I'm sorry. Bronco Mendenhall won me over in 20 minutes. What can I say? I don't want to beat him as badly. I only want to beat him by like 20 points, not 40.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well.
So on offense, one of the big ones for them was Devin Dampier, their quarterback. He's a sophomore. He's a threat in the run and the pass. He was spoken of very highly by his coach, so I think it's definitely somebody that needs to be watched out for.
That looks like dual threat.
Oh yeah.
I guess
Dual
we'll
threat
find
dude.
out.
Yeah.
See what this guy's really capable of with Brody Grebe, but chewing on your neck.
Exactly. That's gonna be the big thing. He played limited snaps last year due to injuries this offseason. I guess he got to take a ton of snaps in the offseason, so that's good. But last year, he threw 6 touchdowns with 0 interceptions, which I guess was an FBS record, what they were saying. Could you imagine that was the most touchdowns thrown without any interceptions in the entirety of FBS was 6?
That is fairly hard to believe.
Yeah.
But okay, let's go.
Yeah.
We're gonna break.
I feel like there's no team that's better suited to play against a dual threat quarterback than the Cats, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't matter how fast he is, we'll get him. We'll get him.
Just like every single practice, you're playing against like Tommy, or last year you were playing against Sean Chambers and Tommy.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you're pretty used to having to learn to defend both the run and the pass.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it kind of looks like this team is a bit off. They have some pieces on offense and a couple guys on defense, but it seems like maybe the offense is a little further ahead than the defense. Do you see that at all? Or did you think that at all?
A lot of the talent that they were talking about was mainly on the offensive side. And I was surprised because a lot of the stuff I was reading about in articles and everything was talking a lot about their run game. But then when I listened to them talk about themselves, it was more centered around wide receivers, tight ends, and the quarterback.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's what they're wanting to focus on. I mean, it does look like their wide receivers, tight end are kind of the better players on their team.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll see what their offensive line is because you can't really throw the ball if you can't protect the quarterback, and I kind of wonder if that's going to be the case here.
Yeah. So in that receiving core, the players that everybody needs to be watching out for are Luke Wysong, the wide receiver. He's just coming back from an injury, but he was their number one receiver as a freshman. He was the number one receiver on the team. Lost the entire year last year and is just back as a junior now. He's a legacy player, somebody whose parents and everything went to New Mexico. I really want to make fun of him because he called himself a fire starter. He said, "I'm a real fire starter when I get the ball." And I can't think of a more corny thing that anybody has ever said.
That is pretty corny.
I'm like one of those little logs you put in a bonfire before you start the actual fire, you know?
It's kind of like he needs to tell people that he's good because maybe he actually really isn't that good.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm really good, I promise. But
Yeah.
I'm also not.
Dude, I'm a real fire starter.
Just believe me, okay? I'm really good.
Just put the ball in my hands. I'm a real fire starter. Okay. Grace Bruckler is their tight end. They claimed he was one of the top tight ends in the Mountain West last year. Doesn't seem too any stronger than any tight end we have on the roster. Is an experienced guy. He has been with the program for a while. Knows a lot about it, but they're also restarting everything. And then they just slightly mentioned Caleb Medford one time. So he's the wide receiver on the opposite side of Luke Wysong. But they focused all of their attention on the quarterback and the receiving core. So it seems like at least they think that is the strength of this team.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, I feel like our secondary probably matches up with these guys pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't think it's going to be a huge threat.
No.
But there are players that if you're looking for somebody to watch out for on Saturday, you can keep an eye on those guys and see if anything happens or if there's anything we need to worry about.
Yeah. It does look like they have one pretty good stud on defense for sure, this transfer from San Diego State.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know too much about him, but seems like he's pretty good.
Yep. Noah Avenger, transfer corner from San Diego State. I guess he played some really great football at San Diego State, and then he has now joined this Bronco Mendenhall team. So he was he was focused on a lot, I should say it that way, during this press conference, and he was brought up multiple times. So could be somebody that most likely will be covering like Ty McCullough.
Yeah.
But also, I'm not really too worried about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to really dive into these guys too much just because we haven't focused on them at all.
Yeah.
But he does seem like maybe one of the defensive guys that could, kind of maybe make a play or two here and there.
The other big names on the defense were Gabe Lopez, defensive end, and Tavian Combs. Tavian Combs gave me a little bit of pause because he's back from injury, and last year in just 5 games, he had 47 tackles. And if that stat is correct, it's insane, right?
Either he really flies around or there was a lot going on in the secondary to get that many tackles as a safety.
Yeah. You could say more about how bad their defense was than anything.
That's kind of what I'm wondering, because it kind of seems like he might have been making a lot of tackles behind the linebackers.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is a lot of tackles, though. I mean, he must be good at it. He must be able to wrap up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last line of defense is pretty good. So I guess we can only expect like 25 yards on every play. That'd be kind of sad.
Well, I just have to say, Ben, thank you for looking into New Mexico and doing the one thing none of us really actually wanted to do.
Exactly. You're welcome. You're welcome. That's how bored / excited I am, as I said before. These names that I am going to be able to forget on Sunday.
Yep, exactly.
Actually, on Saturday at halftime, I'll probably forget all those guys.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, with that being said, you want to make a few picks?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Well,
do you want to start with the Big Sky, or should we go to the Missouri Valley first?
let's start with a Big Sky. I mean, let's get it out of our system. We can both scream Montana State at the same time.
Okay, sounds good. Ready for it.
So the first game is this Saturday at 2:00, and it is the Bobcats at New Mexico. Montana State, the live line is up to minus 13.5.
Damn, it is moved again?
Yes, this is
How deep is this line gonna go?
This is a live deal from ESPN Bet. Minus 13.5 over under 54.5.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Bobcats. I love them, and I think they're going to stomp New Mexico. But, dude, they got to beat them by 14 points for us to take the Cats with the points. Or giving those that many points. That's crazy.
And the Cats have not won. The Cats have not won against an FBS team in a long time. And I know how stacked we are compared to how lacking in talent there is at New Mexico. They've got plenty of culture, but it's like it's the first game of a new coach. It's tough to touch a 13.5-point line though.
It really is. That one makes me extremely uncomfortable. I'll still do it for the good of the podcast and for the good of everybody. But
should have locked this in at 4.5 when we had the chance.
That's the problem is you couldn't they didn't let you do it until it wasn't 4.5 anymore in Montana.
I couldn't. Hey, shout out to Montana Sportsbet for still being the worst app of all time.
100% shout out. Yeah, but I think everybody knows who we're picking in that game, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so
hands
easy
down, Montana State Bobcats.
100%. The next one we have, and this is Thursday, August 29th, where there just isn't that many games on Saturday for the Big Sky Conference. So we decided to lump Thursday, August 29th in with this Saturday, and we have Monmouth at Eastern Washington.
Okay. I don't know anything about Monmouth.
Yeah. Well, they're going to the worst field in the entire country, so that's
oh no, they're playing at Eastern Washington?
Yes. Cheney, Washington.
I kind of wanted to watch that game, but now probably not.
No.
I think I'll stay off of it
unless you want your eyes to bleed. That game I mean, I feel like Eastern Washington will win that one probably pretty easy. I would guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are they playing? Is Monmouth even a Division I team?
I'm not really extra familiar with Monmouth or Monmouth or however you say that. But
if you want, we can take the Eagles. Like, I'm fine with it.
I mean, I feel like picking them doesn't really say that we believe in them by any means.
It really doesn't. It just means we have no clue who the other team is.
So I'm looking at last year's stats for Monmouth, and they are not real good.
Okay.
They lost to quite a few schools that we would recognize, such as Albany. Albany beat them 41-0 last year. New Hampshire, which I believe New Hampshire was a playoff team, beat them by a touchdown. Elon beat them. William and Mary beat them. Lafayette beat them. Florida Atlantic smoked them. So
So at least they are an FCS team, but it's definitely kind of a cupcake matchup for Eastern Washington.
yeah, they're FCS, but not good FCS.
Yeah, not Missouri Valley or Big Sky. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So
Yeah.
feel like our Eastern Washington pick is probably pretty safe.
Pretty safe. Pretty safe right now.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Next is Sac State at San Jose State.
Okay.
Now, we know that Sac State is a frisky football team.
Mm-hmm.
San Jose State is fairly unknown to me, other than
Yeah, I
what
can't
I'm
think a lot
looking
about
at.
it.
I'm just looking at their scores from last year,
Yeah.
and it does look like they had a few decent wins. They lost to Coastal Carolina in the Hawaii Bowl.
Okay.
Beat UNLV, beat San Diego State, beat Fresno State, beat Utah State, beat Hawaii, smoked New Mexico. Bad.
Okay.
That was a 30-point win. And losses are Toledo, Boise State, Air Force. Oh, their first game of the season last year, they got beat by Oregon State 42-17. And the second one, Cal Poly lost to them 59-3.
Okay.
So
That's a tough one to deal with. Like, you're
This
reading
is
off
a-
those scores, and that's a confusing one.
they have some decent wins here by,
Yeah.
not great programs, but okay ones.
Mm-hmm.
This Sac State may stand a chance at an FBS win here. What do you think?
Yeah. I think they have a solid shot at it. I obviously know a lot more about Sac State than I do this other team, whoever we're talking about. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
San Jose State, right?
Yeah, San Jose
Um,
State.
Oh, old St. Joe's of the southern border, as I like to call them.
Yeah.
I kind of want to just go Sac State because I would love to see another Big Sky team beat an FBS school.
Yeah. I'm going to take the FBS school here because I can't stomach Sac State getting an FBS win.
Okay, that's fair as well. That's fair as well. Okay, you can be petty. Go ahead, be petty all you want.
I will be. I will be petty.
Okay.
Honestly, Sac State probably stands a chance here, but I just don't know. I saw a lot of scores there, 40, 50 points from last year for San Jose State, and I just kind of wonder if Sac State's defense can contain what looks to be a kind of a high-scoring offense, but you never know. But I'm going to lean San Jose State.
It'll be an exciting one to watch, at least.
Yeah.
Could be kind of a high scoring game, a little bit of a shootout.
Yeah, it could be for sure. Yeah, there could be quite a few points scored on that one. Yeah. Well, you want to take us into some of these cool little Missouri Valley ones?
All right, so Missouri Valley, we only got a few here. And these are all Thursday games. These are all Thursday, August 29th. That's what we're talking about right now. The first one we have is an FCS on FCS, some FCS on FCS action. So we got going on with Youngstown State versus Villanova.
That is a cool one because both were playoff teams last year.
Mm-hmm.
So that is kind of an intriguing matchup.
Yeah, Villanova looked like a really good team. Offensively, seemed really fun to watch. And Youngstown kind of middling as far as the Missouri Valley. Do you think that's safe to say?
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of stuck down there below the NDSU, SDSU, South Dakota, maybe North Dakota. They're probably really similar to like a northern Iowa or an eastern Illinois, probably.
Yeah.
As far as the Missouri Valley is concerned.
I was thinking like the Big Sky comp would be like UC Davis.
Yeah, like a UC Davis, Weber State, something like that.
Yeah, right around that mid tier where they could have a good enough team to be in the playoffs. But it kind of all depends on how the season shakes out for them.
Yeah. I have seen some predictions of Villanova having a really good season, and it does look like I mean, I don't know if there's any lines or anything on it, but I do think that Villanova is probably favored here.
I think Villanova's probably the safest pick in this situation.
Yeah.
They're a really solid team.
They were pretty darn good last year. I think I would probably take Villanova on that one.
Yeah. So next one up, a team that I'm not sure if ESPN is just trying to make me sound like an idiot right now, but Murray State is playing against Missouri. I didn't know that Murray State was in the Missouri Valley.
I didn't either, but they must be. I mean, if it says
the old Murray State Racers, playing against Missouri, number 11 ranked Missouri in the country. I wonder how that one's going to go.
I bet this will be a very close game. Very close. Yeah.
I bet it'll be real close between an SEC school and somebody from the Missouri Valley that we weren't even aware was in the Missouri Valley.
Yeah.
Could be a very tight matchup there.
My guess is this one's going to be probably like a 30-point win or a 40-point win for Missouri. They're going to destroy these guys, and the starters probably take one series, if that.
Yeah. It's not even worth it to watch a single second of this game, in my opinion.
No.
I think we can leave it at that.
I feel sorry for the Murray State fans. Their week 0 sucks.
We have one more kind of odd matchup that I don't really know a lot about, and then we can close out with the big name one. We have South Dakota versus Northern State.
I don't know what Northern State is, but I can only imagine that this is going to be South Dakota more of just a practice game.
Yeah, Northern State doesn't even have a logo on ESPN.
Yeah, so
they've got the generic little gray shield, so I don't think they're going to be anything to worry about whatsoever.
This one might be one that the listeners can just keep off their radar. There's probably an easy win for South Dakota.
Yeah. All right, the big name one that I'm super excited to watch is North Dakota State versus Colorado.
Let's go. That is a game that worth tuning in for.
Oh yeah. It's going to be on ESPN 1, ESPN Uno. They got the big channel for this one.
Wow. Coach Prime on the Primetime Network.
Coach Prime Time versus North Dakota State. I can honestly say I never thought those words would ever be put together in a sentence, and I am so excited that they were. Either way this game goes, if it's a blowout for Colorado, awesome to watch the Bison lose. Okay? Yep. If this is a close game, that is so exciting for FCS football.
I can't take anything other than North Dakota State getting blown out. I need Colorado to give me a little bit of revenge here.
This is the Eric Lava revenge game.
Yes. No, I've seen so many different predictions on this game. Like, the North Dakota State believers think that they can keep it close, and everyone else in the world thinks Colorado's going to win by probably not. They're not going to get blown totally out of the water, but probably cruise pretty comfortably on that one. I mean, we're literally talking about Colorado, who has Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, possibly first round NFL draft picks.
Exactly.
Probably.
They are massive players.
Tons of
more likely than
transfers.
Not, especially Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter's a no-brainer. I don't know how Shedeur Sanders will go. I think he's a massively good quarterback. I just don't know how that market works out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that North Dakota State has a prayer But here's one thing to consider when you think about these Missouri Valley schools that have FBS games, and I guess kind of the Cats included in this. So you have North Dakota State playing Colorado, you have South Dakota State playing Oklahoma State, and you have Montana State playing New Mexico. So at the end of the season, considering, North Dakota State and South Dakota State do have to play each other. These week 0 FBS games against these Missouri Valley schools could make a huge difference in seeding at the end of the year.
They really could.
The chances of North Dakota State and South Dakota State winning their FBS are very, very, very slim. But if they avoid a terrible loss, that could mean a lot for seeding.
Oh, yeah. It could play a major factor. Everything factors in when they do go to seeding. It seems like there's such a wide group of criteria when it comes to the FCS playoffs that they could be calling in like how much they like somebody's mom, and that's going to be a factor in seeding for the FCS playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to go down too much of a rabbit hole, but if you think about, if those two Dakota State teams can keep these FBS games close, one of them wins. Even if the Grizzlies were to somehow beat the Cats and go undefeated, there's a realistic chance that both Dakota schools could still be ranked above Montana based off of how they fare in this FBS game.
Oh, yeah. It could have huge implications.
Because their strength of schedule would have been so much more difficult. But like I said, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because that is a long and twisty road right there.
Yeah. We'll have plenty of time for that rabbit hole at the end of the season or as the season develops more.
Yeah. So I think it's fair to say we're both taking Colorado.
Yeah, taking Colorado. I am a huge Coach Prime fan, so there was no way I would ever pick against him, especially against NDSU.
Yeah. Either way, there is some entertaining football coming up in the next week. Thank the Lord. We're back, boys.
I am so jacked up for it.
We are back.
We are back, baby.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you wanted to talk about before this game on Saturday?
No, I might if I do bet on any games, I might just send you over to post on Twitter if anybody cares about that. Look up the Cats on Twitter, and if I do throw some bets down, I'll make sure Ben posts them up before the game.
The betting situation in Florida, I'm currently recording from a deck off of a lake in Florida. So you cannot bet in Florida unless you have the Hard Rock betting app, which I'm guessing is like their Montana sports bet. And unless you have a Florida address, you can't do it. So if I don't find a machine, I won't be posting any pics on Twitter, but Eric definitely will.
Yeah, and I'm not going to guarantee any picks here.
Not guaranteeing it either.
I don't.
There is no stone cold locks.
I don't love, unless we have some pretty cool player props come out, I just don't love these lines Montana Sports Bet's giving us, man. They are still trash, like you said. Still trash.
Still the worst app on the App Store. Whatever app store you use.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, I think that's all I had for you.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for listening. Go ahead and follow us wherever you are listening to this at. Go ahead and rate us 5 stars on whatever platform you decide to listen to this podcast on. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at CatsPod. And we will see you guys on Saturday after the game for our big celebration podcast.
Woo woo. All right, see you guys.